you're ready.
All right, with Peter Gabriel Gagnon, who is in Spain. Wukong Couriers is the short film. It's 15 minutes long. It is very fanatical. It's a lot of fantasy in it, and I would call it, I guess, a bike messenger in a fantasy world. Is that a good summary?
Yeah, I would say it's the story of a bicycle messenger that has to save the world from
Yeah,
a demonic cult,
yeah,
and it's meant to be our world with a little bit of fantasy and magic
yeah.
realism mixed.
It's like the everyday person who has to save the world, in a sense.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
kind of like a John McClane kind of thing, where like, well, Die Hard, where like I got to do this. So basically, I
Yeah,
don't know.
the inspiration was I'm a big fan of 80s movies, and it's very much my homage to Big Trouble in Little China,
Oh, okay.
uh, John Carpenter, kung fu film that he made in the 80s.
Yeah.
I really love that movie, and this is kind of my homage to that movie.
I just
The
watched that movie 2 months ago for the first time, so it's funny that you mentioned that, and it's crazy. It's such a loony movie that
yeah,
sometimes makes no sense, but then I'm like, okay, I have to like, because sometimes I have my like story head on. I'm like, I
right.
just gotta turn it off and like just enjoy the ride. So that's what, and they're remaking it too. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's another John Carpenter movie that I want to remake called They Live.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
that's Roddy Piper. Yeah.
Yeah, that I love that movie. But Big Trouble in China, that's great. I mean, there's so much like mythology and um, like character and hero's journey, but like from a Chinese standpoint, from an Asian standpoint, that's built into that. That's just kind of I took my notes from that, and that's kind of what I wanted to do in a short.
It's a fun film. I would one would assume that there's a feature film version of this story that you have.
Yeah, either feature film or I've talked to a bunch of my friends and producers, and some of the thinking was, what if we did a series or a
Yeah.
micro series? Because I think that would be kind of the antithesis, or the, I guess, synthesis of like a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but like something a little bit more. You know, I wanted to like really play off the idea of these pretty mundane, typical people that we see every day, messengers on bicycles, on scooters, delivering food, delivering
Mhm.
whatever. What if there was something a little bit more to what they do that we don't know, that hidden world? I also love that very much, the
Yeah.
idea of a hidden world that the average person doesn't see.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was that the bike, because your main character is in really good shape, and I'm like, yeah, if you're delivering food all day in a bike or a scooter, you would be in pretty good shape. Like you would be pretty, especially from a cardio standpoint. Like, yeah, you'd be pretty fit. So,
Yeah, I mean, and that's the actor Cage is, he's a stunt actor, and also I think he's a great actor. He's an amazing martial artist as well. I did martial arts for a large chunk of my life, and that's also one of the things that I wanted to really pay homage to, was the talent and the skill of all of my stunt
yeah.
performers. Everybody in the movie is a stunt performer and also an actor. So that was something I really wanted to showcase as well. And when I made the movie, stunt performance was not in the Oscars,
Yeah.
and now it is. And so we've kind of more and more, all the stunt artists and the stunt performers I know, really been pushing that forward, and kind of show like really the artistry of what they do is never talked about, and that's
Mhm.
something I really wanted to showcase as
Yeah, I've
well.
been fortunate enough to talk to a lot of stunt, like professional stunt people, and they're making more films, as you can see, especially in Europe. And now because of Instagram, or maybe YouTube before that, but Instagram kind of shows like they show like they uncover behind the scenes of like how the stunt is done. And then I think that gave people like context of like, wow, they're amazing of what they're doing, like how they're doing these stunts, and it just kind of like it just like kind of uncovers the brilliance of them. And of course they deserve an Oscar for it, right? Like
Right,
especially,
and
yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. It's funny you say that because Jackie Chan, he was doing that, and in Hong Kong cinema, they were
Yeah.
doing behind the scenes in the credit
At the end of the
sequences
movie, yeah, they would do that. Yeah.
in the movie, like since the '70s,
Yeah.
because that was kind of their bread and butter, was making martial arts movies.
Yeah.
And I'm a big student of martial arts movies, and that was also something that I had thought about doing that for my end credits, is doing like a behind the scenes of the stunts. And it just, it kind of, I think, took away from
Yeah.
because my joke is kind of at the post credit scenes was like the kind of the punchline.
Yeah.
So I kind of took that out. I took the behind the sceens out, but something I really, I might have to make a separate behind the
I was
scenes
gonna say you
movie.
can do like a when you put it on YouTube or whatever that you can have like a separate movie of it, right? So of the
Right.
scenes. Yeah, this is a fantastic film on many levels, because it's just so much fun to watch. And I just want to break down like the beginning credits. That's really
Hmm.
clear. Reading credits are pretty awesome. Did you always envision when you're making the film to kind of do the opening like that, like kind of like a very visual design at the beginning?
Yeah, I mean that was something that I really wanted to put forth, just because I thought jumping right in, people were going to be like kind of disjointed and not understand. And I didn't want to do something that was too much exposition that just spelled it out in the beginning either. I wanted to kind of give like a little bit an air of mystery to it
Yeah.
as well. So that's kind of why I did that. The whole opening credits very visually, so you could see like messengers throughout history, and the things, messengers have always been in stories since Greek myths, since Journey to the West, which is the original kung fu movie, which has Wukong in it, the Monkey King. That's all about messengers and sending a message, and that all of that kind of, I just wanted to roll that up into like an opening credit sequence that people would kind of, okay, we know we're going into something that has some sort of mystical context, but also something that has some sort of historical context. And that was just kind of how I executed it. I mean, it was kind of the way it came together was very last minute,
Yeah.
but I always wanted to do something like that since the beginning.
And I love the stunt. I love the fight sequence in the warehouse at the beginning of the
Yeah.
film with the kind of the big tattooed guy. That's
With Chaz.
really
Chaz is was the stunt coordinator.
okay.
It was his stunt team and all of his people that worked on the film, and then David Lavalier Jr. is the one that did all of the sword choreography. So between them, we had a really amazing team.
Yeah, because one would assume that because then we'll get to the action scene where he fights a bunch of them, and I love the catering table kind of I don't know like because
Well,
he
that was so. The one thing is I love about Jackie Chan movies, and
yeah
there's a movie called The Blade that I also love, and there's also another movie. The reason I'll say all these is because there's point, and then there's a Chinese Ghost Story Part Two, which is another great movie that I love. There's always this sense of like, something serious is going to happen, and if the heroes don't do something, it's dire consequences, not just for them but for the whole world. But then there's always some sort of like just mundane thing that is just there, so absurd. And I thought, like, these cultists are getting together to summon a demon.
yeah they would have
I
coffee
mean,
and donuts yeah
but yeah, somebody's going to bring donuts, right? Somebody's going to bring, like, there's the one guy that's just trying to ingratiate himself with
yeah
with the high priestess, and it's like, I'm
yeah
going to bring coffee and donuts.
yeah. Like you can see that like they're bringing the travel coffee. They're going to the store and getting the travel coffee. Yeah. But it's one of those things where like where like you want to take it seriously, right? It's like it's that tone, right? Where you want to find
Right,
that tone. So it's serious because we're emotionally involved. But then you give us that and it's like it kind of takes us okay, we're having fun at the same time, I guess, right?
right.
Like how do you find that tone? Like we're like you're like we're having fun, but then we have to follow the plot. We have to be emotionally involved at the same time.
Yeah, I think that just comes with, and I think John Carpenter did really well with Jack Burton. So, that the characters kind of says stupid shit and does
Yeah.
stupid stuff, and it's kind of bumbling through the thing, but they have to be the hero, and they're kind of they're kind of like lovable because of that. You know what I mean? Because that they've got to do this, even though they may not want to, and they're suffering to do this. That was something I wanted to get across, like really between him and Wukong, who's played by the amazing Perry. Like I really wanted to get their chemistry right, which I think it came across really well. Perry's amazing actor. He's in a lot of amazing films. He's in a new film right now. I can't remember the name of it. I'm sorry. I'll probably hit myself over the head for not remembering it. But he was in Warrior. He's in a lot of amazing stuff. And the interaction between him and Cage, I think, is what really kind of brings that home. Brings home the likability of the character, and they're both a little bit silly, but then there is this impending thing that you got to take care of.
Yeah.
And I think that, and it's kind of a human thing. Like we all want, we all have horrible things that we have to do every day, or things that we don't want to do. Maybe not horrible. That might be selling it too far, but things that we don't want to do every day. But sometimes the best thing is just to be silly about it, laugh about it, and just go do it because you have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's kind of something that I wanted to put forth as well.
And in the case of this character, he's got to have a sword fight with like 20 other people and kind of kick some ass, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, and prevent a demonic incursion into New York City.
By having that fight, I guess, right? So the setting, like the art direction, the setting, especially in the beginning of the film with the outside. Where did you shoot this film? Like
in Chinatown in New York City.
Oh, you did? Okay, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
The whole movie was shot in Chinatown in New York City.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's got a uniqueness to it. It's like how well New York City's been shot to death, right? Like Toronto. Yeah. And I never seen some of those scenes before. I never in a film. I thought maybe because I know you're in Spain, I thought maybe it was in Spain. Yeah. Okay.
No, the whole film was made in Chinatown in New York City. There was the warehouse itself was shot in Paterson, New Jersey.
Okay. The interior.
The interior. Yeah. All the exteriors
were in Chinatown.
Yep.
Yeah. And they let you shoot there? They let you shoot those.
Yeah. As long as, with indie films, like, you have a permit.
Yeah.
But if you need a permit only if you're going to put down a tripod. If you don't have a tripod, you can shoot anywhere. And if you're not closing off the street, we never closed off a street. Those are the pedestrians, and everybody that's walking through there are real pedestrians in Chinatown.
Yeah.
So
cool. So you just
I think that there's one scene where he's riding alongside a building, and then there's like like half of a semi truck where he fights the girls on the outside. That's also done in New Jersey. That scene itself was done in New Jersey. Because we did a drone shot there as well, so that was done in New Jersey.
So you did mention Perry Young, so I was just looking up his credits. So yeah, Warrior, The Equalizer. The new film is Lucky Lou. Is that what you're thinking of?
No, there's another. It's a small film that he just did. Let me look and see if on his Instagram if I can find it. Because it's a pretty little film that I want to.
But he's got a long list of credits.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor.
And you're friends with him, or
The Harvest? I think it's called The Harvest.
The Harvest, okay.
It's on Amazon. It's called The Harvest.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, from 2023. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and he's also amazing in other ways because he's a punk rock.
Yeah, he's got composing credits. Yeah.
Well, no, he's in a punk rock band, and he also makes flutes.
Okay.
I mean, he's just like he's a Renaissance man. He does, and he was going to teach me how to make, because I had some extra bamboo, and he was going to teach me to make some flutes. But we ended up moving to Spain, so I never made the flutes.
And how do you know him personally?
He was cast in the film. I met him.
Wow.
And it was kind of cool because this is a very, very low budget film, and I wanted to make sure that everybody got paid. But I had to do, and I did I had to do a low budget, like a micro budget contract with SAG.
Like SAG, like a scale kind of, yeah.
Yeah, well, it was, so there's indie contract, and I think it was, it was very, very, very low.
Yeah.
And but I wanted to do it so that all of the actors and the stunt actors and all my crew were protected. So we got insurance. Like I wanted to do, I've been in the business for a long time, and you know, almost 26 years I've been working in the film business, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone was taken care of, even if I couldn't give them what they deserved, because none of everybody kind of did this. I say everybody did it for free. They got paid and they got fed,
Yeah,
but they did it for very, very low, and a lot of people
sure.
did it just for the love of it. So yeah, it's been this whole film has been a labor of love, even though it's a silly little kung fu movie, but it's got a lot of heart, I think.
Well, listen, it's a great proof of concept forever. I don't know what the game plan is, but it's a really kind of cool setup. And
I think that originally was the idea to do it as a proof of concept, but I shot it in 2016,
oh wow,
so
okay.
it's taken me a long time to finish it, and that's just life, pandemic, just changes the VFX work, all of just I've worked on a lot of feature films since then,
Yeah.
and always working on big movies or paid gigs always takes precedence. So it's taken me almost 9 years to get this done.
Wow. So
So
you work in visual effects, like
yeah,
that.
I'm a visual
That's
effects
right.
supervisor for
Yeah.
feature films, and also work as a visual effect artist
And you're
at
able
the.
to do that in Spain, like you can work at home. Is that the
Yep,
concept?
yep.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, the ideal thing is right now to do VFX supervision for feature films in the States here,
Yeah.
and also do projects here. And Spain's been very awesome and very welcoming. So you know, I'm little by little, I'm tearing out my space, creating my niche.
Gotcha. So yeah, you worked on some big films, like you're in the Marvel universe, I guess, from
Yep,
looking at your credits.
yep.
Yeah, a gig that
So
keeps on
I
going. Yeah,
my I guess a lot of those are like I did little shots here and there.
yeah,
It's not like I can claim I did a Marvel movie,
yeah.
but I'm very proud. I worked with an amazing company called Perception in New York City. I worked for them for a few years back in 2011, 2012, and they brought me back to help with the opening credits for Black Widow, and I was really proud of what we did for the opening credits for Black Widow. That was the first Marvel movie that had opening credit sequence.
Yeah.
So went to LA, shot a bunch of that, worked with the team. It was really awesome.
That's the infamous film where like they just put it on Disney and they didn't put it in the theaters during COVID, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
So that was interesting because we had shot it right before COVID happened,
yeah,
and then everything was kind of unsure
yeah.
when
And then
COVID came in,
yeah,
and then they.
your lead actress named Johansson, she sued because like, where's my money, right? So you didn't put in
Yeah,
the.
and I think she had a reason to,
She
because
did.
she had a contract for a theatrical release.
Yeah. But that's what, but then people waited, like, not this quick segue, but like other films like Top Gun, they waited for the COVID to finish and then they waited like 2, 3 years. But with Black Widow, they had the new streaming service. They're like, okay, we're just going to put on the streaming service, right? They needed to promote
Yeah,
it. So, which is unfortunate, but yeah, for her, I guess.
I
But
mean, I don't think Scarlett Johansson's suffering, but at the same time, she deserved to get her money for
yeah,
a
sure.
theatrical
Yeah.
release.
Exactly. All right. So okay. So this film, in terms of like, talk to me about the sword scene, because you like it's so like is everything choreographed to the T. Like you guys rehearse it. And what swords do you use? I'm assuming you don't use weird real
No, no,
swords.
we used real swords.
Okay.
Those
And
are
then
real swords.
but his vision, that's in post production, like his.
The fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fire we had talked about doing, because there's a fire guy that does flaming swords, like practical flaming swords, but it was the insurance, and I have to have
Sure.
extra crew there for the fire, was just outside of our budget.
Yeah.
So me being a VFX guy, I was like, well, I'm just going to do it in post.
Yeah.
And that also created the lengthy timeline, because I had to basically track every sword shot myself by hand and animate the flaming swords by hand.
Okay.
you know. So
But this
yeah,
is
it's
what
all
you
that's all
do.
done.
Yeah. That's what you do
Huh?
for a living, though, right? So yeah,
Yes, what I do for a living.
yeah,
So, well, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I do for a living. So
yeah,
that's what I did.
yeah,
I mean, I look at it, and everybody I think is a horrible critic of their own work, and I go, oh man, this
yeah.
is inconsistent. It's got problems and stuff. VFX wise, I dread my peers looking at it, but it is what it's a kung fu movie, and it's cute, and it
Gotcha.
works.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get it. So, but at the same time, like I thought of Kill Bill when I watched the ending sequence. I'm sure you've gotten that before,
Yeah,
right?
I
Yeah.
mean, Kill Bill is like I have a love hate relationship with Tarantino.
Okay. I
So,
think everybody does, but go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, because yeah, like Kill Bill, that's his homage to kung fu cinema,
Yeah.
and
It's not your
I
homage.
kind of
Yeah.
what's that?
It's not your homage to. It's not what you
It's not,
think.
and it's not what I would do. I mean,
Yeah.
my biggest issue with I think Tarantino's a great dialogue writer.
Yeah.
And I think he's an okay director. The problem with him as a director is you could replace every single actor in a Tarantino movie with Tarantino himself, and the movie would be exactly the same.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because they all kind of talk like he talks.
Yeah. Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction. I got. Yeah.
Except for that would be the one that I would take out would be Sam Jackson, because Sam Jackson always puts his own spin on everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But everybody else, you know what? Sam Jackson, and I would also say Ding Rames
Okay. Oh,
in
okay.
Pulp
Yeah.
Fiction.
Yeah.
I would say those are probably the two outliers.
Okay.
And I might give it to uh I might give it to Brad Pitt for
Inglorious
Inglourious
Bastards. Okay.
Basterds.
Yeah.
But all the rest, all the rest, and I think his best movie is True Romance, and he didn't direct it. It was Tony Scott that directed
That
it.
is a great movie. Yeah. That's one of the I'm from that generation, so we used to go back. I think you are too. We used to go back and watch that movie over and over and over again.
Yeah, I think because the dialogue is great, but he didn't direct it. It was a Tony Scott directed movie, and also Crimson Tide, because he redid the script for Crimson Tide.
Yeah, yeah. True Romance was my second date movie with the girl.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great pick.
Yeah, I
That's a
would do it
great
over
pick.
and over again. That was like my teenage years. Yeah, right. So yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Because if
I
if
think
she
mine was
got it, yeah.
I think mine was Pump Up the Volume, with say also a Christian Slater movie. I don't
Yeah,
know if you
yeah,
remember that
totally.
movie.
Yeah. I remember I watched that film like 3 months ago. That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
It's a weird ending, but
It is a weird ending.
okay, so then how long did you take, like it was like how many days did you have for that final sequence to shoot?
We shot the final sequence, I think, in 2 days.
Yeah.
So we did. It was the movie was shot over a month of weekends. So it was like 3 separate weekends where we did every day.
Okay.
So like we did Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, Saturday,
Like
Sunday.
6 days, 6 day shoot.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
we had one day of pickups that we had to redo some chase shots in Chinatown.
Gotcha. And were the actors kind of like waiting for you to, did they almost forget the film like happened? Because you said you waited, it took a long time to get finished.
No, I think I mean, I think that everybody was expecting something to happen sooner, and I sent out a letter just about 2 months ago, like, well, whenever I finished, so like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, and basically was like, hey, I'm sorry it's taken this many years to get this movie done. It
Yeah.
just, life gets in the way sometimes. And almost to a T, everybody in the crew was pretty magnanimous about it. They're pretty like, man, we get it. We're just happy to see it done. We're just happy to see it. There's been a few outliers that haven't responded, but people have other things that they've done, that they're going on to.
But then you could do like a sequel 10 years later, because it literally is 10 years later, right? And they've all aged.
Yeah, I've thought about that. I've actually thought about, like, and I have a producer friend of mine's like, well, what if we did like a series, or what if we did a proof of concept for a series? I mean, I guess that's all dependent on where I can get money for a budget. But I also thought about doing like a Spanish version, like doing it here in Madrid.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
or somewhere in Europe has a lot of different places. Or I kind of like the idea of maybe doing it like an anthology.
Okay. We lost you there for a second. Did we lose
So
you?
sorry, the power just cut on my laptop. Sorry.
Oh wow. Okay, yeah. So anthology. You said you had an anthology series.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
about doing like, and where it shows a different messenger and a different, like, kind of a different story for each one. That was an idea that I had.
Yeah. That's
Where we,
cool.
or I had. There's another part of this that we didn't talk about. Like, I shot another. There's a whole entire scene of dialogue with 6 other messengers
Okay.
in kind of a separate warehouse where, like, kind of the messengers meet up between runs. And they're all various different archetypes of messengers.
Hmm.
And I think there was there were some problems with the dialogue, that it was a little bit too esoteric, and it was a little too it just kind of broke the action of the story.
Gotcha.
So
That makes sense.
that was
Because the
what's that?
film doesn't stop, right? Like it's a
Yeah.
yeah, it just keeps moving. It's like a fast pace, keep and it's like done. It's like, whoa, the movie's done. Okay. Because it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
there was a part right before he goes to meet with Wukong,
mm,
where there was this whole dialogue scene. And that it was too long, it didn't work, and I just had to yank the whole thing. So there's like 6 other actors that are in the movie that you never see,
yeah,
that I feel bad that they're not in the movie, and I feel but it didn't work for the story. It's better as just an action movie where we go
yeah,
all the way through, and it's a short,
yeah. But that
you
happens
know.
all the time, right? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah, there's a
moving
bunch of shots. There's a bunch of shots in Black Widow that things that I shot that I
um
pulled, and I was like, yeah,
yeah, I would yeah, one would assume, right? So yeah, it's gotta serve the story, right? You gotta keep the pace going.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
That said, they make 3 hour Marvel movies, so I'm watching the film and I'm thinking that could be cut, that could be cut, but they're
Exactly. I was.
yeah,
It's funny because we just saw my wife and I just saw Fantastic Four, and that was kind of the. There were some things that, like, was that necessary?
yeah,
Was that necessary? And Superman 2 also had
yeah,
it had some things that could have been cut.
yeah. But it's the movie experience, right? They want to make it as long as possible. It's different from the past. So
Right, which I don't mind. I kind of wish people would go back to the theaters. I think that experience, especially for my kids' generation. My kids are, they've been trained since an early age. They'll sit down and watch a whole movie, or they'll watch a couple TV series with us. But their friends won't sit through a movie at
oh
all.
really?
Yeah, their generation, they will not sit through a movie. They'll be on their phone half of it.
Yeah,
They'll go get up and they'll go play video games for a while. Then they'll come back,
yeah,
and it's really, I mean, to me, it's a little disturbing.
yeah.
Nobody can sit down and just watch something, you
Yeah.
know.
I just think I don't even know if it's a generational thing because I do like a festival every 2 weeks in a theater and I sit in the back sometimes and there's like every generation's there and it's like everybody has their phone, right? And you could see like phones popping up on the screen. I think they were just addicted to like, oh, I like this movie, but I have to like check my Instagram and make sure that nobody
Well,
texted me. So, right.
I think that Netflix and Amazon really kind of are to blame for some of that,
Sure, of
because they
course,
really
yeah.
wanted to do the second screen experience.
Yeah.
They were really pushing that for a few years,
Yeah.
because they want people to be on multiple devices, and I think that kind of had a negative effect on people. And we are addicted to our devices a little too much.
Yeah, that's what yeah, that's I think that's a lot a big part of it. In which yeah. All right, man. Well, are you gonna direct another film or what's next?
Um, I would love to. I'm actually working on a couple of scripts. I just started a new company, So that's the kind of the priority right now.
Gotcha.
And trying to do some cool stuff here in Spain. I'm writing a couple of scripts, a TV series script, and also a couple of feature scripts. Um, my producer buddy, the one I was talking to you about before, he is really pushing me to do a micro budget feature. So that's kind of the thing I'm focusing on right now.
Yeah, I can see it.
Probably gonna,
You're definitely ready to do a feature film for sure.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
the micro budget feature, we're thinking about, we want to shoot something probably next summer. Most likely, going to shoot it in Berlin. That's the idea. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think it's doable. I just got to get the script done.
Oh, okay, there you go. So you're
Yeah,
busy. You're busy.
I'm busy. I'm busy. It's good, and I'm really appreciative that people have taken to Wukong, and I hope maybe Wukong has more legs. We'll see.
I think it does. It's a no-brainer for any action fantasy film festival. Like it's a no-brainer acceptance. So you
Yeah,
should get into every film, every festival that you want to submit
I
to.
have. So I have. So let me see. I'll tell you the ones that we got in and the ones that, if you care. I know this is a different festival, but
Yeah,
if you want to know, we have been. We were the semifinalist in the Mirada Corta Festival, which is here in Spain.
yeah.
The Fighting Spirit All Action and Martial Arts Film Festival, we were selected.
Oh, yeah, no-brainer. Yeah.
We won the Slash Eyes. We won Best Action Film for the month for Slash Eyes.
Okay.
And then we were nominated Best Film for the Absurd Festival.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right.
And of course, your lovely festival as well. I mean,
Cool.
what you guys are doing, I really love. I love your approach to film festivals as well. Of making sure filmmakers get feedback and making sure that you get seen. I mean, I think that's just really it's brilliant. I mean, it feels really good. It feels like, oh yeah, you're not out just to make a buck as festivals. I'm sure everybody is, because that's just your business.
Yeah.
But you guys really care about what the filmmakers are getting out of it, and I think that's
100%.
great.
Yeah. 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 Thank you. I appreciate that. So let's talk again when you make your next film. And yeah,
Sounds good.
I love to see what you do next. And I'll keep an eye out for your credits. So
Thanks a lot, Matt.
thank you.
It